It's Tom and Todd's Face Off on WRKO.com.
Oh, everybody's talking about that silly Super Bowl kickoff. This is the kickoff that counts. It's the kickoff to Face Off. Tom and Todd, WRKO.com.
Patriots by 17. Patriots.
Mitt Romney wins Florida, but then he wouldn't put his foot in his mouth by telling a CNN anchor that he is not concerned about the very poor. Is this a guy that you really think can beat President Obama?
Oh, this is so much ado about nothing. Come on now. He said there's a safety net. He said if there's some problems with it, I'll fix it. I don't worry about the very rich. I don't worry about the very poor. Now he hits the bullseye. I worry about the middle class in the United States of America. Good for Mitt. I know people are going to manipulate this. Come on, that's the name of the game. But he can stand up to it. I really think that he can push back on this and actually turn it into a winning issue.
Well, despite Tom's attempt to distort this to Mitt's benefit, the problem is he did have a perfectly reasonable thing to say, and that is, I'm the fighter for the middle class. That's where you want to be if you have half a brain, because that's where the bodies are. That's where the votes are. However, the whole storyline about the middle class was lost in his inept presentation and his need to trounce on the poor, which feeds into a negative storyline. The negative storyline.
We got a safety net,
well,
and I'll
look,
fix the holes. Come on.
You
sound like Rachel Maddow.
I'm just facing reality. Reality is that the day after his big win in Florida, instead of taking a victory lap and talking about the middle class, he's talking about, I didn't really mean that I hate poor people just because I'm worth $250 million and I never actually take the elevator down out of the penthouse. I stay here permanently in a hermetically sealed environment that makes me a little brain dead when it comes to communicating with normal Americans.
Don't you remember he worries too about getting a pink slip? Come on, it can be.
Sure,
come on.
But that pink slip, what is it actually about? We have to investigate.
Does Donald Trump's endorsement help anyone? If you were a candidate, would you want it?
Well, I think the question is out of line. Donald Trump's endorsement obviously helps somebody. I think Donald Trump gets helped by it because he gets a day in the sun, and every day when there are bright, hot, sweaty TV lights focused in his eyes, blinding him, that's a day he's filled with joy. But I don't know that it helps any candidate except one who feels so desperate to try to control the news cycle for one day that he's willing to do virtually anything.
Donald Trump is the reigning blowhard, fraud, dope on the American scene.
But
and that covers a lot of ground. That really does cover a lot of ground. By the way, this is a guy who endorsed Barack Obama and gave him a substantial amount of money just a few years ago. If anybody takes Donald Trump seriously, well, certainly his ex-wives don't take him seriously, and I think that's probably a pretty good clue for the rest of us.
You see what Tom's saying? Anybody who fell for Barack Obama 4 years ago, dope.
Super Bowl. Who wins? What's the score? And who's the MVP?
Whoa, that's a lot to try to get into place. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to go 30-27. And I guess if it's 30 points, Brady's the MVP.
I like the Bengals. But I understand they're not in the game. So, you know, there's a part of me that's nervous about this game because the Patriots just don't match up. Every team, it's about the matchups is what I'm trying to say. They're not a dominant team. I don't know how they got into the Super Bowl. You watch them every game this season. You got agita. You need to be popping Rolaids and Tums in a mix. And even still, you got gas at the end.
Try the vodka. Try the vodka. It works wonderful.
I always have to use your recipes. They're the best ones. All right, I'm predicting the Giants win the Super Bowl by 17. We'll see what happens. Tom and Todd, WRKO.com. It's Face Off.